Okay, welcome to part of Unit 6, Finding Our Place. We're going to be talking about finding our place values when we are working with decimals. So we've already done a little bit of this, working with whole numbers. So now let's talk about what it looks like in a decimal format. Okay, one of the common mistakes that students make is they want to kind of center around this decimal here and say that decimal place values, or place values in general, sort of center around the decimal. If you look at the chart, you'll notice they don't center around the decimal. Where do they center? They center on the ones place. So you've got the ones place here, to the left of it, tens, hundredths, thousandths, to the right of it, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so on and so on. So our center point is not the decimal. It is the ones place. And once you get your head wrapped around that idea, it's really pretty easy. All we're doing on this right-hand side is we're taking these letters TH and we're adding them onto the original name. So instead of tens, it's tenths. So tens is larger and tenths is smaller, and just sort of repeat that idea all the way across. When you're rounding decimal places, it's exactly like rounding whole numbers. Okay, so 3 here is the ones digit, then we have tenths. We have a 4 in the hundredths, we have an 8 in the thousandths, which is the third decimal place. When we are rounding, we do it exactly the same way we do with whole numbers. If I want to round to one decimal place, what is the key number? It's the one just to the right. We have to look next door at the number to the right. Since that number is a 4, 4 and below, it stays on the floor. It stays the same. Over here, 3248 rounded to 2 decimal places, 3.248 rounded to 2 decimal places. We're looking at the second decimal place here, so our key factor is next door, the one to the right, the third decimal place. It's an 8, 5 and above, we give it a shove. That 4 has to go up to 3.25. And here's an example, 2341.251. If I were to round this to one decimal place, what number am I looking at? Well, I'm going to round it to one decimal place, so I am looking at this 5. And I would be rounding this guy to 2341.3. If I am trying to round it to 2 decimal places, well, here's the second decimal place, but the important number is the next door one. I'm going to look at this 1. I'm going to leave this 5 alone. 2341.25. And that's rounding with decimals.